Hello, Midnight Gang members. Glad you joined me again today for Storytime. Remember, if you're enjoying The Midnight Game by David Walliams, you can get your own copy, also other books, if you click the link above. Now, we're on chapter 7, so let's get started. Chapter 7, The Midnight Hour. The glow from the clock face of Big Ben shone through the tall window behind Tom's bed. Suddenly, Tom could see shadows flashing through the children's ward. Figures were moving in the darkness. Tom was frightened and couldn't help but gasp, "Ah!" Just then he felt a hand on his mouth, silencing him. This made Tom even more frightened. "Shh!" hissed someone. "Don't make a sound. We don't want anyone waking up Matron." The hand was soft and fleshy and smelled of chocolate, and as Tom's eyes adjusted to the dark, he realized it was indeed George's. Tom's eyes darted over to the matron's office. The lady was still fast asleep in her chair, her head resting on her desk, snoring away. "Not one sound," repeated George. Tom nodded his agreement to the boy, who slowly removed his hand. When Tom looked behind him toward a giant clock, he could see across the rooftops of London. It was approaching midnight. Soon it was clear that it wasn't just George who was out of his bed. Robin was also there, pushing Amber along in a wheelchair. The wheelchair was old and rusty, and even had a flat tire. Because Robin had bandages over his eyes, he couldn't see a thing. Amber's bandaged legs banged straight into the wall. "Ow!" she cried. "Shh!" said George and Robin. Tom found himself joining in too. "Shh!" "Let me," said George. He guided Robin to one side, and then took over pushing of Amber. Robin put his hand on George's shoulder, and like a rather pitiful conga, the trio shuffled out of the ward. "Where are we going?" asked Tom. "Shh!" the three children replied. "Can you please stop telling me to shh all the time?" protested Tom. "Just go to sleep, new boy," hissed Amber. "But," Tom protested, "you are not in our gang," added George. "But I really want to be in your gang," pleaded Tom. "Well, you can't be, mate," replied George. "But it's not fair," moaned Tom. "Please, can you turn the volume down, dear?" snapped Robin. "Yes, be quiet," said Amber. "I am being quiet," replied Tom. "You are not being quiet. You are talking, and that's not being quiet. We all have to be quiet," said Amber. "And you be quiet," said Tom. "Oh, for goodness sake, will you all please just be quiet?" said Robin, a little too loudly. All the children's heads turned toward the matron's office at the end of the ward. Matron stirred a little at the noise, but didn't wake up. There was a collective sigh of relief. "The old moo shouldn't wake up for a couple of hours at least," said George. "There was one of my special snoozy pellets that Dr. Loopers gave me pushed inside it in each of these chocolates." "Well done for remembering. She liked the purple ones the best," said Amber. "No point in ruining a whole tin of chocolates, was there?" replied George with a smirk. "You crafty devils," said Tom. "Why, thank you," replied Robin, bowing his head as if for applause. "Now, new boy," said Amber, "go back to bed right now, and remember, you did not see a thing. Let's go." With that, the three friends trundled out of the double doors. At that moment, the chimes of Big Ben started. Bong, 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 bong. Tom listened and counted 12 bongs. It was midnight. The boy was sitting up in his bed now. It was just him and Sally left in the children's ward. He looked over to her bed. She was asleep, as she had been since Tom arrived in the ward quite a few hours ago. Despite his swollen head, Tom felt restless. There was no way he wanted to miss out on all the fun. So, he took a giant leap into the unknown and decided to follow them. Tom felt like a super spy, but the feeling didn't last. As the boy eased himself out of bed, his left foot went straight into the bedpan on the floor. Blink, blink, blink. Chapter 8, A Promise. Clink, clink, clink. Tom couldn't prise his foot out of the bedpan. The boy wanted to shout out in frustration, but knew this would only make matters worse. The last thing he wanted to do was wake up Matron. who was still snoring away in her office. The boy looked over to Sally's bed in the far corner of the ward. She was lying in bed, a glint of light from Big Ben just catching the top of her bald head. Tom didn't want to wake her up either. At least the bedpan wasn't full, he thought. As quickly and quietly as he could, Tom reached down and pried his foot from the bedpan. Then he tiptoed out of the children's ward. To his annoyance, his bare feet made squelching noises on the shiny floor. Squelch, 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 squelch. As his fingers touched the heavy swing doors at the entrance of the ward, he was seconds from freedom. Just then a voice made Tom jump out of his skin. So, new boy, where are you going? The boy turned around. It was Sally. Nowhere, he lied. You can't be going nowhere. You must be going somewhere. Please, just go back to sleep, pleaded Tom. You will wake up Matron. Oh, no. They do this every night. That nasty woman won't wake up for hours. I really think you should get some rest. Boring. It's not boring, replied Tom. Now come on, go back to sleep. No. What do you mean, no? I mean no. Come on, Tom, take me with you, said Sally. No. What do you mean, no? I mean no. Why? Protested the girl. The reason Tom didn't think Sally should come was that she looked weak. He was worried that she would slow him down, but he didn't want to say that. That would hurt her feelings, so he said something else instead. Look, Sally, I'm just going to catch up with the others and tell them they need to come straight back to bed. Liar. No, I am not, he said with a little too much gusto, which made him seem like he was lying. You are lying. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Tom shook his head a little too vigorously. I know you must think I'm not going to keep up with you or something, said Sally. No! Yes. Come on, admit it. I'm not stupid. No, thought Tom. This girl is smart. Super smart. There weren't any girls in Tom's boarding school, so he had hardly met any. Tom hadn't thought that girls could be smart. The boy immediately had a feeling that this girl could beat him at everything. Tom didn't like that feeling. No, it's not that, honest, lied the boy. Then, as he stood there looking at her, his curiosity got the better of him. Sally, can I ask you something? Yes, you can. Why have you got no hair? Oh, I decided to shave it all off so I could look exactly like a boiled egg, replied Sally, as quick as a flash. Tom chuckled. Whatever the girl might have lost it wasn't her sense of humor. Is it because of your illness? Yes and no. I don't understand. It's actually the treatment that did it. The treatment? Tom couldn't believe it. The treatment did this, then what did the illness do? But you are going to get better, though. The girl shrugged. I don't know. Then she quickly changed the subject. Do you think you will ever recover from a cricket ball hitting you on the head? Tom chuckled. I hope not. If I do, then I have to go back to school. I wish I could go back to school. What? The boy had never heard another child say such a thing. I have been in this place for months now. I miss my school, even the horrible teachers. Even though Tom had only just met Sally, it was as if he was talking to an old friend. Then the boy realized he had to leave right now if he had a chance of catching up to the others. I have to go, and you definitely aren't going to take me. Tom looked at Sally. She looked too unwell to get out of bed, let alone go on some crazy adventure. Tom felt guilty to be leaving her behind, but he felt he had no choice. Maybe next time, lied the boy. Sally smiled. Look, Tom, I understand. The others have never invited me. You go, but I want you to promise me something. What? He asked. I want you to tell me all about the night's adventures when you get back. I will, he said. Promise? Promise. Tom looked Sally right in the eyes as he said it. He really didn't want to let his new friend down. Then the boy pushed open the heavy swing doors. Light spilled in from the corridor. Just before he disappeared from sight, Sally said, I hope it's an awfully big adventure. He smiled at the girl before he pushed the doors open and was swallowed up by the light. And to find out what happens, you've got to tune in. Same time, same channel. We'll see you tomorrow. Now remember, if you're liking the story, click up there, find some other books that you might like as well, and can't wait to share more. Also, if you're enjoying this and you don't want to miss any of the action, make sure you click that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications. We'll see you next time.